I should have
I
just
mean,
not
I'm
told
just-
anybody, but I like to give you at
Yeah.
least some
Listen,
consent.
We're like,
we
yeah,
all thought it was a
Werther's.
joke when Sam on Critical Role was like anti-Werther's and putting up a smear campaign. But the thing is, it's based in fact, and therefore it is true that Werther's is terrible. So
Joe, I
are
love
terrible.
you, but
not.
you're wrong.
They're good.
Joe,
They're delicious.
I know where you live.
That's
I will
true.
come
That's
to
very
your
good.
apartment.
I also know where you live.
I will
Surprising
come to your
everyone.
apartment, and I will just bury you in the best candy in the whole world, Werther's Originals.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Thank
we're
you
not
for
gonna
the
say
finger.
it's the best
best
in the
candy
world.
in
Like
the
it's
world?
really good, but I think you've taken it a step too far in this
It's the
argument. Like you gotta.
original.
Yeah, like the
Original
grandpa
Sounds
candy.
like not everybody's on the same page on
Werther's.
your side of the war, but that's okay. Hi, everybody.
I'm such a
Welcome
big
to
fan of
today's
Werther's
episode.
Original. I am wearing a gold
The
shirt.
Southern Hobby
And-
shirt, which
Yes,
has
I'm
nothing to
wearing
do
a
with
Southern Hobby.
Werther's.
Werther's Original shirt.
No, I'm gonna buy you a Werther's Original T-shirt, Justin.
For his
Why is the
birthday.
Werther's
His
Original
birthday's
hat?
on Monday.
This is true.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Hi,
okay,
everybody.
okay.
Because
I'm sure you can
hi
fix on
everybody, welcome to tonight's episode of I'm Incorrect All the Time.
Yeah. Tonight's
Yeah.
episode
Wow.
of Cujo's Wrong.
You know those bits where Matt always reacts like in the middle of the break, like the intro, and you hear like just a little bit of what's being said during that time? I kind of understand what that's like now.
It was nice knowing you guys. My character's gonna die in probably about 10 minutes.
Many rocks are on call to fall. So
As long as those rocks are made of Werther's Originals, I'm
Yep.
okay.
Eat your way through.
Christ. I'm wheeze laughing a little too early for tonight's episode of Decisions and Dragons. You see what I did there? I weaved it into the intro.
Good job. Good job.
When last we left our intrepid heroes, now I'm just powering through. Our intrepid heroes had reunited with their comrade Boykin, who had seemingly been the guest of honor, along with his brother and Kalen, on the very top of the Citadel of Pain, entertaining the demon prince himself, Diablos. There, they did battle in, I mean, I think an epic battle for the ages at this point. I mean, that was a pretty fantastic combat. I almost wish my dice were behaving a little bit better, but that's okay. Just hindsight's 2020.
2022, Joe. Get with the times.
After
We are-
defeating
We are all in a mood
Diablos,
today.
all of the rocks, not of Werther's Originals. Anyway, after defeating the demon prince and ensuring his life was cut short, in a very smart last-ditch effort, as Boykin realized that his brother Brotrak was unmoving on top of the tower, Arsinoe stepped in to give a revivify spell, reviving, just like the revivify word implies, Brotrak back to life. There, they sort of recovered themselves, came up with a game plan to head back to Falcon Haven. But before they left, a familiar demon at this point, Gazrek, had made it clear that the VIP entrance to the top of the tower to do battle with Diablos was essentially his gift to the party in return for giving him an extra bit of territory to manage. Gazrek had informed the party that they would need to vacate immediately just to make sure that his transition period went well. And you all started making your way out of the Citadel of Pain. Couple things to note as you guys make your way down. You get to the base level that you had originally climbed up. First, it's getting a more calm tour of what was once a demonic prison and seeing all manner of former torture devices, interrogation rooms, all filled with some form of viscera, now lying empty before you. And even though you're passing by all of these rooms that were filled with pain, you can't help but still feel that weight that had been bearing down on you since even coming to this valley having been lifted. And once you come to that base level, where you see a familiar rope being hung to get you guys back down to ground level, you can see in the distance some animals are starting to make their way over. It seems whatever hold Diablos had on this region was lifted the moment you took his life. With you, the party consists of our 6 heroes here, along with Marketh, the seemingly corrupted, possibly undead blood hunter, Dean Lycretia Hollow, a necromancer who seems fascinated by Marketh's condition and really hasn't left his side, along with 2 drow, Nosoro and Exoa, and 1 Aarakocra, an owlkin named Ekos. So, what happened?
She's had enough.
Oh, that's right.
She's out. Okay. All right, Tina. Well, you're the
Right.
dungeon master. What happens next?
Great story, everyone. Glad we all played today.
Yeah.
It was rock. I think this was where the rocks fell, right?
Oh, I mean, you're the
I
dungeon
mean,
master. You tell me.
we're at the base of the tower. I mean, that
Little
seems
do
like
we
the
know, someone's
appropriate
picking
spot.
all of us off one by one.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm playing Malice right now. So,
Oh, it's funny.
yeah. So I'll just jump off of the thing. I'll ignore the rope. Just
That's-
jump off. Is that?
No,
That's Chio.
that's Chio. Chio does the.
Who is
Chio
fighting
does the-
Discord.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Discord
Oh,
boss got the best of her.
there we go.
There we go.
Man,
I
that was
felt-
really lucky because I was going to start playing Malice and Tina was going to be the dungeon master. And ooh,
He
would've been
he
rough.
almost killed my character by jumping off of the thing.
Okay, I mean, if that's what you guys want to do when I'm gone for like 2 seconds because Discord craps
turned-
out, like,
It turned into absolute chaos for like 30
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
I'm the glue holding it together. Wow.
Yep.
I mean,
That's
The
not
layout
good.
got all kinds of funky when you left.
It's just I felt like shunted out of my body.
Mhm.
It's really weird.
This moment of disassociation entirely from everything around you, then it suddenly went away. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Plotting everyone's demise suddenly. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm sure
You
it's fine
all
though.
climb down the rope and find your makeshift camp, not too far from the tower itself. You can see that Coco, the moment that sound starts emanating from the tower, you see this axe beak sort of perk up above the rocks and just stares at all of you as you continue to make your way towards the camp.
I just give a sharp whistle to Coco.
Coco darts straight for you. And even though you have trained Coco, Coco does like a half tackle where it just kind of like bumps hardly into your chest and kind of does the nuzzle into your neck. Couple nips at your cheek.
Did
Good.
we bring down demon meat for Coco? I feel like we did.
Have like a barrel of salted fish or something.
We
Yeah.
did.
Cujo,
a lot of shit.
after seeing the wonderful reunion with Coco, I freeze. I'm like, oh no. I start feeling around for my paper bird.
Happy.
You
Pappy?
feel around. Pappy is not with you.
Oh.
I drop to both knees, yell at the sky, just ah!
Marketh, sort of already on the outskirts of the group as you're traveling, just sort of gives you a look of complete confusion. But Bro Track gets on his knees next to you. What's wrong, bro? What's wrong, bro?
God, I hate him so much.
Cujo,
Roach,
real
road track.
quick. When we were in that like treasure room, that's
Mhm.
where all of our stuff was.
Mhm.
And we had the hammer, we had everybody's armor, and I was shoveling anything that I recognized, like as far as our equipment, I was shoveling into my bag of holding.
Mm-hmm.
Can I reach into my bag of holding and just think about that paper bird?
You reach into the bag of holding, and sure enough, flying from the bag of holding
Oh.
is this small origami folded paper bird that flies immediately to Boykin's shoulder.
Oh my god. I was just about to start cursing the gods. Oh my god. Don't do that to me again, little bird.
You do this a couple times, and it like wrinkles the beak, and then just
Oh, sorry.
it just
I do the
flattens
whole
out.
like lick the finger and just like kind of straighten his nose out a little bit. Anybody have a paper clip? I don't.
Jesus. As you are quickly remedying your foolish damage to your paper bird, you hear Marquette speak behind you. This is all well and great, but I think this is where I'm going to get going. Thanks for the help, by the way.
Same. Where will you go now?
Not sure. It's been a bit since I've actually been out and about, but I think I'll start making my way southeast, maybe. Pick up some leads on my quarry. Anyway, take care of yourselves. And he turns and starts stepping away. To which Lucretia says, believe I'm going to make sure that he survives whatever encounter he's going to throw himself into. Besides, I feel like I could learn a little bit traveling with him, so I appreciate all of the assistance in your rescue. It's quite impressive. Best of luck. And if you're in the area then and need the assistance of a necromancer, by all means, I'm yours to command as you see fit.
Travel safe.
And she gives a bow. And she gives one final nod and turns and follows after Marquette.
Now that we're outside, can Chio get a sense of how long we were in there? Like, they were stuck in some sort of a dreamscape, and she doesn't know, was that dreamscape a day, a week, 2 hours? Like, she just wants to have an idea.
I will leave it up to you. Either a nature check, investigation check. Well, actually, scratch all of that. Make me a survival check.
Oh, good.
You are so excited.
No, that's fine. She's going to fuck it. Let's blow the resource. She's going to shift into her hybrid form so she gets advantage.
Like sniffing the air.
Yeah, she's gonna and start sniffing around. It looks a little weird. Like, what is she doing? But okay.
Just know that if you roll a natural 1, you're going to do that cat thing where you see a bird in the distance and you do that chittering sound. Just staring at it.
My dog
Oh,
likes
wait,
to
I shifted
chase
in battle.
birds.
Never mind. I forgot I shifted last session.
Gotcha.
I went one time. Alright, fine. That's fine. It's still a 25.
Jesus.
I just assumed I would roll shit.
Just a little 25.
Yeah, whatever. Scraping the bottom of the barrel once again, Rhodes. You gather based on the state of the wilderness around you. It's been about a week you guys were in there.
We spent far too long in whatever weird dream that kept us in.
All I know is that I'm kind of hungry now.
Oh, me too, bro. Do you have any food?
Actually, I would have to see if I have rations.
Even if if Boykin is not yet wearing his armor and is doing this, Brotrek is still looking expectantly at you like, what the fuck?
I mean,
Oh, I do have 1 day of rations.
we did take that salted
Fish and
some
meat.
fish.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We have like
S-
a lot.
The second you
I
say
guess we'll have
fish
that.
and meat, Coco locks on.
So
You
we
see
were in
the
there for a whole
pupils
week.
expand a little bit, kind of like a cat that's about to pounce. Just
Guess that
Does
means
it
we're
do the
camping
butt
tonight.
wiggle?
The butt wiggle.
I
Little
mean,
tail is just wagging.
I can think of worse places to do that.
for the sake of ease and time, I will say that your travel, your rests are unbothered. The oh, go ahead.
Excuse me, if somebody would be able to remove this curse on me tomorrow, I would really like to not be blue anymore.
No, Soto, the male drow says, I actually think it kind of looks good.
It doesn't
Oh,
match my hair very well.
Well, maybe not, but it's kind of fun though.
Still, I think I would rather be freckly and pale again.
Suit yourself. um, Arsinoe, I'm looking to you as the divine caster. Do you have remove curse?
I will
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Okay. Whatever stuff you guys want to do over the next few days of travel, you guys have open access to. So if you do take the time, you can remove the delightful blue-skinned curse off of your friend.
The next morning, when we wake up, I will gesture for Lit to come on. Hold my hands up, and this slightly bright light emanates from her hand. She just kind
Split squeals a little bit and then like throws her arms around you and gives you a thank you.
You're welcome.
Cute.
You'll hug her back.
She looked like a Sour Patch Kid. She was so small.
I know.
Is there anything else any of you would like to do during your travel back? It's going to be about, what was it to get there? 2 to 3 days?
No, it was longer than that.
days.
It was longer than that. It was like
Um,
a week, 10 days.
This is why you have lore keepers in your D&D party, everybody.
yeah, hold on.
I think
Yeah.
it was 2 days.
2 days?
I only wrote down 2, so I don't know if I fucked up.
Let's see. Boo.
This is why you have good
No, it
lore
says-
keepers in your party.
It says 10
Yeah,
days.
Yeah,
I have 10 days.
10 days. I think we
I
condensed
think we
the first
hand waved
7.
the other 8.
Yeah, basically the portions that are in the forest that were pretty close to Falconhaven, we blew through, and then we took the
Yeah,
last
okay.
2, or I think the last 2.5 days with
Got it.
more things. So yeah,
Yeah,
10 days.
We got
They
attacked
had
on the
the
second day.
horse thing.
Yeah.
That's what I noted. Okay.
Yeah,
Because then I wrote like the next morning
I
that
have,
we
like,
got there.
Yeah.
I was like, no,
second
there's
day,
2
yeah.
then. That's 2.
We got
had that-
attacked on the
We had
second
the
day.
incident with the
The get along spell.
yeah, the get along spell, the play nice spell.
oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot.
it's that.
Caitlin's like, we don't need to talk about that. That's okay.
I mean, you know what? It worked. Just saying.
Caitlin doesn't say anything, but you do get the body language like he agrees. He just doesn't want to say it out loud.
He'll never say it. He'll never admit it.
And don't talk about Fight Club.
Nope.
The only thing I want to do is attune to rest of my shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
I tuned to the
fantastic
armor.
hand wraps.
All right. Yeah. You guys attune to your newfound magical items.
I just attuned to my
Chio.
old found ones.
As you attune, there's a familiar voice in your head. You did well.
Thank you. I don't think this journey is quite what I expected it to be when I left home, but I suppose I have learned a lot so far.
Continue to do so. And that's all you get. At some point during the journey, Ecos states, while I am thankful for the rescue, I believe it is time for me to return to my post, should it exist. I am court magician to the rightful king of Dorian, and I must return back to Persephone to ensure his safety.
Of course. We're going in the kind of opposite direction.
Right. Well, again, I owe you my life, and any request will be granted, no matter how large or small.
May take you up on that.
Tread lightly. The mountain trail is quite severe.
Safe
You
travel
do the
back.
same.
And with a few batting of his wings, Ecos also departs your group. That's right. I'm not letting you have like 8 DMPCs.
Listen.
They have wants and goals of their own.
I mean, why are we even playing then? Jeez. Yeah, just-
What's the point?
I mean, you can't just like collect them and put them in a little thing.
That's
Yeah.
what we're doing in
Yeah, like
Teldore.
Pokemon.
We're
love how it's
collecting
gonna be
them and
part of
putting
our-
them in the bar.
We're
like
trying to
level-
make the biggest click out
You
in,
level
out
them
in
up,
these
and then you put
lands.
them in the combat.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Jesus.
They're just all going in my Pokedex.
Yeah. You call them out. Like, Ecos, I call you.
What
Yeah.
was the
You have-
voice of the Pokedex?
I choose you.
And then, like,
That was it.
and then if they
Yeah.
win, they get new features. It's great.
It sounded like, I feel like the Pokedex sounded like a robot slightly being drowned at the same time. It's like, like I can't. I was like trying to make the noise and I can't even fathom it. Like
I have no idea.
I just remember the chipper. Din, 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 din.
Chivas. Well, it's stuck in Sam's head now.
It is now.
Um,
Yeah, it
That's
is.
it. We're actually in
it's
game. We're
Harry.
just skipping down this trail.
No, we're not.
You all successfully approach Falcon Haven after 10 days travel back. Just to reiterate, you guys did have the mechanized horses with you as well. Kalen did have his warg that he was riding with him as well. So you guys come back
And Coco.
complete with Brotrack and Coco and the 2 drow. As you approach, there is a patrol that's along the perimeter of the tent city that spot you. And they approach and immediately recognize Boykin and Brotrack. And state, we weren't expecting you back. We will arrange for a royal entry into the city. Does anybody need any medical
okay.
assistance?
I mean, we could probably use some medical assistance in general. As you could see from the look of my face. Look at this thing. It used to be beautiful. Now it's beautiful and burned. Like it's a little ridiculous actually. But no, we could probably use some assistance. At this point, obviously, from traveling so much, Boykin is very tired, and he still is very injured.
Yes. The time traveling has helped a little bit. It doesn't, throb with pain anymore like it used to, but yes, you are still gritting with a burn, a very terrible burn on your face.
And we don't need like any royal thing. It's let's just go.
As you wish, sir. And they
Unless my
still
friends would
escort-
like a royal entrance, like that's fine.
Please no.
Just another Tuesday for me, really. You know how that goes. What? I'm just trying to be humble here.
My Tuesdays don't go like
I
that.
don't think you understand the definition of the word, but that's fine.
Yeah, what does that mean, bro?
True. Bro Track, you're asking way too many questions. All right, let's go.
You all continue forward towards Falcon Haven. As you do, you do still have some of the guards kind of like escorting you through, not giving the big grand scene to everybody around you, but just
We're not
ensuring
going
your
full
security.
Prince Ali.
No. Well, I mean, you could,
No.
but that I would leave that to you guys.
I don't think we got enough animals on the way.
Well, I mean, it helps if you find a genie. I'm just kidding. I didn't give you a gin. You don't have a gin.
Ah.
I'm just clearing that up now. It was a joke.
Ah.
Sorry.
I
Sorry.
could just try.
What did
I
we
could
loot
just start
again?
like firing off spells and see what happens. My magic sometimes makes flumps appear.
That's
did get a
terrible
unicorn.
plan.
We got a unicorn twice, so I don't know.
The unicorn comes back and is like, "What do you need this time? We just need you to parade forward." I've wanted nothing else my entire life.
Honestly, like, I mean, we're not summoning it into combat this time, so it'd probably be happy.
You never know. It might also be pissed. It's being pulled from its home.
Poor
Again.
thing.
Yeah, but then you can tell it that its degree in theater is finally going to pay off.
Hey guys, we can always just summon Kafka, and he can help us run the parade.
I mean, we could, but that.
No, we
If you
can't.
want
Absolutely
me to,
not.
I can just talk to him.
Did you wish him good morning?
Yes, but he didn't really say anything today. Sometimes he's grumpy in the mornings.
I too would be grumpy if there was somebody.
I haven't had
unexpectedly
my
talking to
coffee. What do
me.
you want from me?
Would you be able to summon some animals for us to walk through the
God.
city with?
No.
Of course, darling. And you see a
Fucking
handful
locusts.
of birds of varying degrees of living that are flying overhead.
Varying
I'm
degrees
working
of
on some
living.
horses. It's going to take a little bit more time, however.
No, it's okay. Maybe it's just better if we pass through.
Oh, all right. And with the moment he says that, the birds that like some of them have like bones showing, some of them has like some of their skull visible. They just drop out of the
Oh
sky
my
and out of the
God.
ground. And you hear like a "Oh my baby!" like from a passerby as one of the birds just lands in their home.
Weird weather today.
Yeah, Kalen says as he glances up at the sky. You
Bro Track,
all
don't put that bird in your mouth. Bro Track, don't do that. Nope. Smacks it out of his hand.
What the hell, bro? I was hungry. All you guys have is jerky.
That was a mostly dead bird. Just
Yeah.
let's
well,
keep going.
So
Thing-
is chicken.
Chicken's all the way dead when you
Y-
eat it.
Not
yeah.
reanimated.
It's not important. Whatever. God.
She was gonna turn to Kaylin
You
and
want
ask,
some chicken jerky?
do you receive no
Stark
elementary
treats?
education in your land?
Oh, we do. We do. I would bet money that Brotrack either skipped his or fell down, hit his head, and missed the entire thing.
I could actually shed some light on it. Bro, we actually didn't teach Bro Track correctly as a joke, and we just kept it going for a while. It wasn't my idea. I'm not the cruel one here. I wanted him to succeed. I mean, but sometimes my parents needed a laugh apparently, and Bro Track was the joke. But
So terrible.
Awful.
I've taught him. Right,
That's
bro?
good.
Track.
Hmm.
Oh God,
What?
Don't worry about it, bro. Track. It's fine.
this poor boy.
Perhaps we should put together some rudimentary,
Yeah.
should we? Oh, he
Flashcards.
needs flashcards and like how to form his letters. Oh, oh.
It's at that point in the conversation that you realize that Kalen is not even with you guys. He has already sort of splintered off wordlessly.
Since we've been gone a weekish, 2 weeks actually now. What does the situation look like as we're coming into town? It was sort of refugee sprawl when we left.
Make a perception check.
So to see if anything's changed. Ooh, where's the dice for this game? Ooh, nat 20 for
Nice.
24.
So you your new dice.
No, that was with.
So with your natural 20 for 24, you notice that when you were in the city, the tent city before, there wasn't too many people that were happy with their situations, but they were getting by. You could sort of pick out, sticking out like sore thumbs, some new arrivals, people who were just getting something worked out with the people around them to establish that community, right? As you guys have returned, the spirits are lifted a little bit, and you can hear as you're traveling through small excited bits of conversations between different families. You hear some of them talk about how the sky brightened up for a little bit and they could see the sun, the rays of the sun. Someone else was talking about how her husband was able to hunt in the mountains without any fiendish interference. There was nothing in the skies. You know, many people, as you are passing by, are talking about how something changed, but they don't know what. And everyone's got this sort of optimistic, hopeful tone in their voice as you guys are passing through. The two drow still sort of tagging along, just sort of taking the sights, and Nosoro, being the most vocal, says, "It's been a while since I've been around here, but it was distinctly more depressing last time, so this is kind of a welcome sight." You guys are led through the tent city to the front gates of Falcon Haven. You can see the large stone doors that remain open, but are multiple, lines of patrols are constantly making sure it's kept secure. And as you all approach, again, many of them recognize Boykin and Brotrak. And they shout some orders to some of the soldiers behind them, and you see them part to allow you all passage in. Stepping inside this city under a mountain, you can see that it similar. I don't want to take the entire thing from Dustin's Dradis game, but the city is established into several rings. You guys being on the lower ring, you can see that there are a lot of simple craftsmen, smithies, even some hunting parties that are focused on providing supplies to the tent city outside for the refugees to continue to support themselves. That's where a lot of the hustle and bustle on the lower ring is. The guards who have been escorting you say, we can escort you up to the Hammerthrow residence if you would like, just so we can make sure that Boykin and Brotrak are tended to properly.
Lead the way. Come on, everybody.
Right. You all are led through, and you approach the second ring. After you see that the lower ring extends for, I'd say, a mile and a half. Like this place is mammoth. You brought up to the second ring. Things are a little bit more fancy. Not like hoity-toity Nollard residence level, but you do see that there are some changes, some distinct differences between lower and middle ring. You're starting to see some dwarven nobles, only really distincted by the robes that they wear. Otherwise, they look just as ready for action as Boykin or as Brotrak or some of the guards that you're walking with. You can also spot amongst the nobles kind of carrying out their business, you can see that there are several elven nobles as well, sporting some distinctly different attire. You can spot some human dignitaries. You spot pretty much anybody who has a name that is welcome in Falcon Haven. This is like a residential ring for that group. You are led down one of the large halls in the middle ring to what looks to be a residence of some kind. It's built into a mountain, but it is still worked stone. It has a hammer throw in Dwarvish, sort of emblazoned on the lintel, and you are led into a large stone chamber with it looks to be like a study slash living room of some kind, where there's a few I don't want to say couches, but like stone benches. There's a working table in the center of the room with a large fireplace on the opposite side. You can see a large door that separates into a further room. Also in here, there is a large dining table made of also, surprising no one, worked stone, with a large, almost throne-like chair at the head, whereas all the other seats are just simple stools. You see multiple tapestries hang the walls. Above the fireplace, you can see in sort of like an Art Deco style, the painting of a dwarf, no armor, just a simple clothing with a hammer above his head that has this sort of glow behind it as it looks like he's working a piece of metal. And seated at one of the chairs, sort of facing the fireplace, an old dwarf sort of peeks his head around. And Boykin, you recognize Dalosoth Hammerthrow, your father. Oh, and he rises to his feet a little slowly. You may hear a pop or two coming from his back.
Don't worry, Pop. Hold on, I'm coming over. Hold on.
Shut up. Silence. And he approaches and gives you the warrior's handshake and pulls you into a hug.
Rock and stone, Father. I brought him
Rock
home.
and stone. And he sort of lets go of the hug and then just... What the hell? What did you let them do to you? And he just grabs your head and just like sort of digs a thumb into one of the burns.
What are you doing? What did...
I just want... What
Oh,
the hell is this?
it's
Thought you
still
were a
burning.
Hammerthrow.
Oh. Yes,
And
when you
you-
have red hot chains from a demon burn your skull, it might show a mark or two, or a lot.
Why'd you let yourself get caught?
Me?
Mm. Brotrak doesn't have those.
Yeah. You see, Father, I got the really crap talk inside from you, and I decided that if I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it, so I figured I'd at least antagonize the beast until he did the deed or I made my escape. And thanks to my friends here, we were able to. And the friends, my father, my friends.
Doesn't give much of a wave, but he gives something. But as you
Like-
say, you trash talk. He goes, "Damn right you did." And he kind of clasps his hand right on the side of the neck, a little harder than you would have liked, but you know he's mainly fucking with you.
I'm just, yeah.
And you, Brochek. Hi. Nice to see you're alive. And Boykin, it does not take an insight check to know that when he is saying something very straightforward, with not a lot of embellishment, he's not happy. Go get yourself cleaned up, Brotrek. You look like shit. Oh, thanks, Dad. And he sort of, like, slinks his shoulders a little bit and trudges further into the residence behind that stone door. And
Dad, don't be too rough on him. He just went through a lot. The creatures that were in that tower were quite powerful, and I don't think Brotrack alone could have done much of anything against him.
Well, I know that.
Well,
Listen, I'm glad
he may be a dum-dum, but he's not a bad fighter. We at least taught him that correctly.
Well, regardless, I'm glad you and your friends got out safely. I've already started mobilizing a small group to go and raid that damn prison so that we can be rid of it once and for all. I'll make sure that vengeance is visited upon everything that is in that tower.
Oh, okay. I don't think there's really much of anything left, but I mean, was there anything left?
It's under new management right now.
What do you mean?
Well, Diablos is, dead. We killed him.
Boykin killed him.
You killed a demonic prince.
Well, I had some help, but I couldn't talk crap and then not back it up. I'm a hammer throw.
Make a persuasion check. Your father is very much Team Boykin, but gonna have to convince him that you did the thing.
Great, a 9.
9?
Yeah.
You sure it wasn't just one of the sentries or something? We're talking about Diablos, Lord of Hell.
Oh, we have the head, don't we?
Yeah, I nudge.
Oh yeah,
we're
we're
pulling
pretty sure.
all of Diablos's bits that we took.
Oh, his hand. I have his
you
hand.
have his hand.
We've got a hand.
Some horns.
We've got his horns. I'm wearing the armor of what's his nuts?
The Master of Cruelties.
Yeah, Master of Cruelty's armor and carrying his spear. And I just, as I begin to pull this stuff out of the bag of holding, I just slam the spear to the ground to get his attention. These horns once belonged to Diablos. They now belong to me.
And the only reason they didn't bring his head back is Boykin put it. Nothing left.
I got his hand though. Pulls out the hand, kind of makes it into like a thumbs up.
You see, he is wrestling with this.
Could I roll again at advantage after pulling this hand
Make an
out?
insight check. $11. That's enough. Your father looks upset and worried.
What's wrong?
You killed Diablos.
Yeah, we wrecked him. He's gone. Here. This hand is a trophy for our family.
He doesn't even key in. He just goes and takes a seat at one of the tables. and kind of massages his chin.
I put the hand on the table.
Uh,
This is for our family to show what we did.
and as you're having that moment, stepping inside and sort of like trying to move past everyone is another dwarf, a little bit visibly younger than Delosoth. You see Hoderlim, big, bushy, gray, white beard, and long braid going down his back. Uh, excuse me, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry, excuse me. Nice mask. Well, nice to see that you came back safe and sound. Your face looks actually a lot better than it did before you left.
Haha. You sarcastic.
I take it that the hammer is doing its job, and like before you can even continue the banter, Delosoth says, "You've doomed us all."
What do you mean? Look at the sky. You can actually start seeing it a little bit.
It won't be long before it gets darker than it was before. Damn it, boy! You were supposed to just get your brother. You weren't supposed to do anything else.
Well, in order to get my brother, we had to take out the demon. And guess what? If you actually
had to
go
fight
out,
off the
if you-
demon. You went the
if you-
extra mile.
If you actually go out into that town, you will see that the spirits are lifted. And you know what? Another thing. While I'm on the subject, what's with the lack of support for the tent city for all the refugees? Are you gonna just sit in here and just be afraid? That's not what
Listen,
hammer throws do.
Boykin,
We
what
don't.
business I
I'm
tend
not done.
to.
I'm not done talking. Just so you know, the people out there do not respect us. They fear us. That is not how we should be running this kingdom. There's people out
Boy.
there who are hungry, who need our support. And all we're doing is sitting up here.
Boy, there are mechanics at work that you do not understand. And by doing this, it's going to bring far more ruin to our lands than what we were faced with before.
This was one of Vecna's
Explain
generals.
yourself.
Renolphus, make an insight check.
Insight.
Yeah, I said it.
Which was
18.
is the other dwarf that joined us, is he reacting at all to this?
He's
Does he
sort of
look
keying
lost?
in with the same bit of tense confusion as you guys are. With an 18, you catch that Delosoth is twitching a little bit. He's almost trembling. And as you are sort of keying in, Hoderlim kind of holds up a hand to Boykin. Father, what did you do? I ensured the safety of Falcon Haven. It was our last stronghold. The king's castle was completely destroyed. We had nothing else left.
You submitted.
Made a deal.
I did what I
I
needed to
raise
do.
my spear against him. I do not attack, but I ready my spear to attack.
You hear the guards who had led you in. They don't draw full weapons, but they definitely make their presence known.
I step in front of the spear. Hold on.
Put a hand on Renolphus' shoulder.
You joined with the Horde.
No. We are not the Whispered Horde. He just needed
Needed what?
Entertainment.
Guards, leave and close the door behind you. And the guards look at the visibly angry bugbear and take in the scene, and they second guess themselves, but then wow, they've sheathed their weapons and leaving. The doors closed behind you. I also realize I've had the outside sound this whole time, so I will fix this. I made a deal to ensure that Diablos and his army would not make a full attack on Falcon Haven. In exchange, there would be some tributes that needed to be paid. Sorry, that was really loud. There we go. I would ensure that some of the refugees would be taken.
Are you serious?
It was the only way for us to survive. At the word of the Whispered One, we would be wiped from this realm.
No, the way to survive would have been to fight. You've only made your death long, slow, and painful.
And dishonorable.
Very dishonorable.
Say what you will. What I did for my people.
Sacrificed them.
You were going to sacrifice people to help your people? You could have.
He was only going to sacrifice the refugee. No one living in this mountain.
Not his people.
No one in this mountain would. Only those that did.
You're telling me that if given the option to delay annihilation, you would be willing to give up your life to ensure survival for just a while longer. You wouldn't give it up. Those lives went to our salvation. It inspired us to continue surviving.
We didn't choose to go.
You chose for them. I choose every day to sacrifice my life to defeat the Whispered One. But that is my choice, and mine alone. They are not tributes. They are cattle to slaughter. And you have no idea the pain those people went through in there. The things we saw only scratched the surface, I can imagine. What your sons went through, that scar on his face, and I point to Boyd.
Boy, he's just staring at his dad.
That scar is only a fraction of what your people went through to save you.
Joe, can you describe again the room that we're in?
Sure. So, big stone door behind you that is now standing closed. In front of you, about 10, 15 feet, well, more like 20 feet, up against that wall, there is a large fireplace that has the portrait above, and it's got two stone chairs sort of seated diagonally facing that fireplace. On the left, there are a couple other stone benches. There's a small table. It looks like there's like a small bookshelf with a few small scrolls and very old sort of books that are falling apart. Nothing too amazing or eye-popping out of there. On the right side of the room, there is a long dining table, sort of carved out of the stone, so it just melds with the floor, with a throne at the far side. And then up against the wall to the right, from your perspective of the fireplace, there is a doorway that leads further into this residence.
And I assume the king, he wears some sort of crown or symbol of his office.
He wears he's not in full armor, but he does wear these robes that look a little bit more rough and tumble. And also to clarify, not a king. He is high up in society, but he is no king. The dwarves have been kingless since the fall. So they've just been operating on the heads of the major houses and names to carry out their business. The hammer throws are high up on that list. But
Cool. Repeat everything you said in the last minute because Discord shit the bed.
damn it. The king, he's a higher up clan head.
Okay.
Since the fall, the dwarven society has been kingless. They do not have a
Okay.
royal family. So he is one of the large clans that sort of dictate, through vote what happens with society and all that stuff. He doesn't have a crown, but he is wearing some like deep blue robes that look a little bit more
Okay.
rough and tumble. They're nothing super fancy, and he wouldn't be just lounging in his armor. So, yeah. Hoderlim actually moves to one of the shelves on the left side of the room and pulls a bottle of fire whiskey and just uncorks it and just starts drinking.
Cool.
I do not need the opinion of outsiders to decide what is or is not correct or right.
What about the opinion of your son? What about the opinion of the people that look up to you?
I would hope that you would look at the sacrifices that I have made by making this deal and this decision.
You
You have
didn't
made
make a
no
sacrifice.
sacrifices.
You have not made a sacrifice at all. What you did was just send people to their deaths in a very cowardly fashion, too.
People who came here because it was a beacon of hope.
Yeah. And you
Well, now,
betrayed them.
no. You have now
Oh.
thrown this region into chaos. By removing Diablos, the deal that was struck is now void. And it's only a matter of time before his eye fixes on Falcon Haven.
If you don't think his eye was fixed on Falcon Haven even after you made that deal, you're a moron. You're about as dumb as Brotrack.
He gets up and slaps you across the face.
I try to block.
Okay.
Or catch his hand.
Boykin was standing like right in front of me, right?
He rolled a 3, so I'm just gonna. I know Renalphus, you were standing close by with
Do you
the
want me to
spear.
do a strength check or?
He rolled a 3. He gets up, basically tries to sidestep around the spear to slap you, and you just catch his hand.
You will not be touching me again. Do you understand me? Sit down, you coward. You are not worthy of your station. I'm so disappointed in you. Why wouldn't you go and face them? Face our enemies, not only the enemy of our people, but all the people here in these lands. All
Do you
these
remember?
people in our kingdom here are depending on you. All those refugees are depending on you, and you just sent them to slaughter. We all know that Vecno would have gone back on his deal. You understand that, right? You would have just been the last one. So we wouldn't be able to have allies and support. But now, because we defeated Diablos, we're actually a beacon of light now. We're not having to hide in the shadows like you.
Do you remember the day of the fall? No.
Who can forget?
Do you remember when we finally united to leave the royal city, to escape to Falcon Haven? Do you remember the look in my eyes when you realized that your mother was not with us?
Again, how can anyone forget that?
What I do for the survival of my family. I'm not proud. I know that my afterlife and my penance will come, and that is my burden to bear. But don't ever sit there and judge me for protecting my family the only way that I knew I could.
You just made them look like puppets, though. That's not protecting them. Everybody's lost somebody. Doesn't make it any less sad for everybody else, but
Listen,
you
I
know,
miss.
we all have to do our parts, and Wigan did his, and Wigan, if you don't mind my saying,
Oh, go ahead.
you've seen names have power. Saw what I did to Diablos back there. Just maybe be careful what you say.
Careful to invoke that who you hate so much. I'm going to continue drinking. What you do is your business.
Well, enjoy the bottom of that bottle, because that's apparently where you're gonna stay. I understand you had a tough decision to make. And we lost so much. But that's not you. That's not my father. The brave dwarf who, in his own right, is a legend. That's not you. And you can sit here and rot away, or you can start paying your penance now. Change your direction. Realize, and he picks up the hand, this is a symbol of things to come. We can change our future. We don't have to be afraid of them anymore. We don't need to be. Wary and cautious, of course. But we do not have to just wait for them to come and take us out. Regardless of whatever rickety deal you made with them. It doesn't matter. He would have gone back on it. He's evil. And you are an excellent dwarf and a great father. And I love you still. I was just a little disappointed that you didn't take the braver route. But it's not too late.
Make a persuasion check. I'll say with advantage. You're making a face. What's happening there, buddy?
12.
12.
I was making a face. I'm just thinking the dice are not being kind to me today.
What would you have me do? Step out into the tent city and explain that I'm the reason some of their number have gone missing?
No.
You want me to charge into battle myself? Sacrifice myself on the altar of war?
No. What I
Certainly
want to
be a
do.
start.
The
What
day I
want,
let a bugbear dictate how I rule, I will be long gone.
Hey, you pay attention to me. That bugbear will rip you apart easily. And you would
I'm gonna
he
transform into my hybrid form.
and
Okay.
I
to
just get bigger.
and to be honest, if it wasn't for this bugbear, me and Brotrack wouldn't be here. So think about that the next time you start trying to insult people. But you know what? You know what would be a great start to start trying to bring back your honor? Go and help all those people in the tent city. And I'll tell you what, I know someone who comes from a noble stock that can help you and who has been in touch with all of those people. Which
Looking through the
Buffering,
notes.
looking for the name in the notes.
yeah, I'm like,
Loading.
Talk about Kaylin.
and that's Kalen Drakan.
You have no idea what his father was like and the dishonor he brought our people. There's a reason he was exiled.
Oh, so do you think that you would probably suffer the same fate if the people found out what you did?
He gets taken aback by that.
Speaking of
you
dishonor from
can
your position is perhaps unwise.
you can help someone else regain their family's honor while simultaneously trying to regain your own. I know you are a very honorable dwarf. And I know someone shouldn't be judged based on one mistake they made, even though that mistake was huge and unforgivable. But I believe you can change and regain your honor, because right now we don't need fighting amongst ourselves or sacrificing people. We need people to come together.
Well,
And if you're not the dwarf that's going to do it, then get out of the way. There's others who will.
well, if you can find Olin Drakan and tell him that his exile has been ended, then by all means do so. But as I know it, he's scattered to the wind. And as for his son, he can rejoin society.
I want that in writing.
He steps towards the shelves and grabs just a sheet of paper and a quill and just starts writing. After a few moments, he turns, after placing a wax seal next to his signature, right below Kalen Drakan. You see as he has officially sealed this and just kind of like roughly hands it back to you.
Thank you. This is a start. But your honor is something you're going to have to try and gain back. You are going to have to make the penance for that. But you're going to have to put in the work and be the honorable dwarf that I know you are, that I looked up to for my whole life, that I modeled myself around, who raised us even though mom passed. There's honor in that, but you do need to atone. And one huge way to do that is to give those people out there some hope.
Your friends can stay in one of the residences here. I will make sure it is arranged. I'll put out a decree that the other houses must meet so that we can come to a more humane conclusion with supporting the refugees.
Thank you. That's all I ask.
Guard. A couple seconds go by and the door opens once more. These are they are our honored guests.
Dad, you hit
Show
the
them.
bottle
An
too much.
interesting language. My
It's the
God.
fire whiskey. It's just a little too intense. They are our honored guests. Make sure that they are treated to the best residence that we can provide. Their food and lodging shall always be available to them. Now, if you'll permit me, I must see if I can gather the other clan heads, so if you'll excuse me.
If you need help, let me know.
In case you would like to understand exactly how we took down Diablos and the person who is likely taking over, shall we say, management of the Citadel, here is a copy of the notes that I took afterwards. It may be helpful in any guards or men that you send there now.
He pauses, almost taken aback, and then gently takes the pieces of paper. I will present this to them as well. Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me. And he turns and heads towards that door. Hoderlim is about halfway through the bottle of fire whiskey at this point, as he's just seated on one of the stone benches.
Boykin goes over to him. I'm sorry I got so upset with you, or with Dad right in front of you.
Honestly, it's better that you did. He wouldn't be standing right now if it was me. And he just, like, holds the bottle in front of you if you want to drink.
Oh yeah, he takes a big slug. Or swig, as normal people would say. See you guys.
Words are tough.
I mean, it all depends on the vessel that you're drinking of. It's dependent on what kind of beverage it is. I don't know what the term for swig is in Dwarvish.
Yeah, Brian.
It's
What is
slug
the
now.
term?
Oh God, it's slug now.
I mean, obviously it's slug. You just said it.
Well, you know, I kind of like that. That's the term that dwarves would have for it. I'm okay with it.
Like they're getting slugged with all this liquor.
Yeah. Getting slugged in the face by alcohol. It's
Taking
fine.
swigs, taking slugs. It's all good.
All right.
So anyway,
where's my t-shirt idea list? Hold on.
Yeah.
Taking swings and taking
Swig.
slugs. And what?
Wigs, not swigs.
Swigs.
Although taking swings and taking slugs, that works.
Also a very dwarvish statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have like a couple like warhammers crossed on it.
Yeah.
With like a big,
With a
grog or
tankard in the
something.
middle.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
tankard.
yeah.
All right, I'll right to it. Get our merch going.
So speaking of standing up, Hoderlim, as the oldest, I wonder when you will stand and take over our house, because Father is getting old, and as you were just hearing, he isn't of the best state of mind. You are a leader. And by the way, thank you for that hammer. It served me well against Diablos. It took the final crack at him.
Did you at least tell him what you were hitting him with?
Oh, I don't think he could understand once his brains were all over the place. So
damn. Well,
I think he understood what he was getting hit with, though.
Good.
For a brief.
And you see a
second.
little smirk on his face as he says, I'll go to sleep tonight, well, knowing that Diablos met his end with a blow from Pee Pee Poo Poo.
You don't mess with the pee pee poo poo.
Mm-mm. Not in the least.
Is that like archaic dwarvish?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. From
Yeah.
the first dwarves.
Yes. When the first
An
dwarves
old
walked
dialect.
the land, they found the great hammer. Pee pee poo poo. So what do you guys do now?
I go to the two brothers and say, what do you plan to do now?
Holderlim.
Suppose I can discuss with father on the terms of succession. But for now, I'm going to enjoy being just a simple smith for as long as I have. As for you, and he points to Boykin,
Mm-hmm.
that's on you.
I look over.
I will say it was incredibly brave what you did. And I'd say that that scar you have on your face is worth 100 battle scars from any dwarf that walks these halls. You took down one of the Whispered Horde.
I did it. I did it in the name of our people.
Oh.
I wanted to represent our house proudly and with honor, and I will continue to do so. He looks over at Renalphus and the rest of the group, and I will probably be going with them to continue to hunt down more of the Whispered Horde.
And he looks up at all of you. Gotta admit, must be something kind of special to keep him in line.
He's not that bad.
I just sometimes
You
forget
weren't
to
there
wear
when he was
pants.
young. If you need any gear, anything crafted, my services are yours.
Thank you, brother.
Julie.
Almost like the DM knew.
I show him Diablos's horns.
What do you want?
I thought they would make a good pair of arms for a crossbow.
He takes one of them and sort of like tests the, strength of, how far they can bend. It'll take some doing. Who's a crossbow user amongst you?
I can
And how big
certainly
are we
use it.
looking? Yeah? What are you thinking? As big as I can make it?
Well, I doubt the dungeon master would allow me to just carry a ballista, but
I don't know.
Yeah,
You're a
there's gonna
big
be
guy.
some. You're a
Yeah.
big guy, but there's gonna be some major checks with that.
Hey, Holderlim, I have an
Yeah.
idea with that too. And he looks at the hand. Like, why don't you use one of the fingers as the actual main part of it that I can't think of the name of because you're the blacksmith and I'm the warrior. Whatever the handle part is.
He takes the hand and kind of, even though it's been 10 days since you lopped it from his corpse, there's still just this, like, it's gonna be a little gross, mildew and a little bit of, like, rot kind of setting in.
Yeah, maybe take a finger. I mean, maybe clean it off first.
Yeah, that's step 0. You should have done that before you left, but I'm not complaining.
Sorry, was a little distracted by the burns, and you know how bro track is. He'd have to make sure he doesn't fall off a cliff by accidentally walking off of it. He
Two left
doesn't
feet.
understand how gravity works.
He doesn't understand how walking works. I don't know
But
about
great
using
fighter. Great fighter, though.
We taught him decently.
Not
All
a good
right,
reader,
I can make a large crossbow work with these horns. As for the finger, using that as the central piece, I don't think that that's viable. But
Okay.
I'm sure I can whip something together for you. How soon do you need it?
As soon as you can.
Yeah, I can get started. Now that I'm buzzed, it's typically the best time to start work, so may as well.
Presumably, I imagine that your city will now prepare for war.
That's probably a good call.
I can lend my expertise. I have extensive training at fighting and training others on the front line against um, Mundos Finam.
You're from Thaden.
Stationed at Fort Scar.
Stories of your people reach our ears more often than you'd think. Good
Hopefully
stories.
not all of them good.
I actually, not to put a pin in that idea of drawing the whistle by way fucking
Where?
south, closer to Munda. There's another general, bigger general. We distract. Whispered one only has one eye. Physically, I think. Hopefully his attention can't be divided more.
So what are you thinking? Going on a general hunt?
I have one in mind.
General Hunt.
Who? Who's down south?
You're talking about in Delita, yeah?
Between Delita, Bastion.
I'm talking about Skin Gorger.
That's a name.
That is
Well,
the worst.
I would certainly draw his attention.
Light
There
our
you go,
beacon
guys.
a little brighter.
I mean, we can probably
you can
offer
check
some
the
assistance.
Discord.
Maybe before we leave, I would assume if we're going to make a trip of that nature, we'll have to take some time to prep.
Of course.
Help out a little here, and then I think that sounds wonderful.
I
The
don't
longer
want
we
to
stay
draw.
here,
The longer we stay here, the more target. I don't want to draw armies to any cities.
No.
But if we catch Skin Gorger between cities on its route, we'll be closer to the heart of the Whispered One's plague, but perhaps we'll drag some of the attention and make our beacon a little brighter.
Yeah, that's
How
another
many
story.
days? How many days travel would this be?
To Delita?
Sea between us.
we do have a boat.
We have to go around.
Well, I mean, perhaps they can fly.
I like it.
Seems as good a plan as any.
I like it provided that you all don't get yourselves killed. But that's what I would have said if I'd known that you were about to do battle with Diablos, so
And look how that turned out.
I'm staring
fair.
at a severed hand on my table.
We had some help.
It's true.
Well, let me at least start with this crossbow. I will keep you in the loop in case there's any development from my father's political discussion. I'd say for now, you've earned yourself some rest, good food, good drink. Give me some time. It'll take a few days to fashion these into a crossbow worthy of a general of Thaden. But I'll get to work right away. And Boykin.
Mm-hmm.
You're wiser than I ever thought you would be.
Well, I guess we picked that up from Mom. I know I picked it up from you, too.
Well,
And thank you for saying that.
go. Get your rest. I'll send for you when the crossbow's ready, and I'll make sure that you are kept in the loop.
If you wanna, I'm not sure what Pop's doing with that hand, but I mean, if you wanna do something cool with it.
I'll just go ahead and turn it into something fun.
Oh, excellent! You have always been the creative one, that's for sure.
Well, why do you think I picked smithing?
Oh, Steve's in our chat. Hi, Steve's.
Ugh. All right.
Boykin is gonna look to grip. I have a message to deliver.
I have some things
It
I
would
want to do
seem that
around
you
here.
do.
Yeah, same. Also, I don't know. I think I'd rather stay outside.
Me too.
Very
Yeah.
claustrophobic.
All right. So, who wants to go first with whatever it is that they're doing?
I can.
Jesus.
Ooh, that was loud.
Sorry.
That's okay. I have my side
Very
very
epic.
low.
Got
I'll
it.
be right back, guys. I'll be right back.
Fine.
Can't tell if Kujo's frozen.
I'm not
Deep breathing.
I thought I was doing really well
You
holding
were.
my breath, but
You
fine. In that case, let's start with Arsinoe. You are in Falcon Haven proper. What do you guys want to do?
She's got a couple things on a shopping list, but I don't think they're gonna have that here. 6th level spells are expensive. So I doubt they have a
You're not
surplus
wrong.
of things. So instead, she'll walk out. I assume Malice will walk if we're heading outside.
Yeah, I think we may also be heading to some of the same places.
I think so too. Heading back out. She wants to head out back to the city.
Okay.
Finds, I guess whoever's organizing and in charge of things.
You guys step out. Give me an insight check, not to detect if anybody's lying, just for trying to gather the right information, get sent to the right person.
Well,
It's not the right character sheet. 11.
11 and Arsinoe?
12.
12. Okay. You are told you essentially touch base with about 3 different people, being told to go from one person to the next, and then that person to this person. Then, well, this person actually takes care of food, so maybe go talk to them. And then they're like, well, I may take care of food, but the actual housing person's over here. So you realize it's a collective. But eventually, you're finally brought to a smaller tent. That standing outside, you can see a live half elf with short blondish hair, but you can see towards the ends there's actually some darker tones to him. Fair features, some muted green eyes. as he is in the middle of sort of directing what look to be new arrivals to the tent city, a small gnome family, um, and just sort of explains. Actually, in the this corner, there's going to be a little bit more room. You're going to be near Rothal and Weirin, the wonderful family. They'll make sure you get settled in well. Um, Obviously, reach out to anybody if you need anything, and we will make sure that you get taken care of. I've already got a couple of people gathering some rations and some food. They're the same thing. Don't know why I said both. Anyway, just we're already getting some stuff set up for you. So they're going to lead you over to that corner, okay? And you see the gnome family just nodding and following the helpers to the respective corner. The elf perks up. Hi. I don't think you need a tent. Just looking at Malice in her armor and Arsinoe in her mask. But how can I help you?
I think we're here to help you.
Well, there's plenty to do. I'm Dranor. It's nice to make your acquaintance. What can I use you for? We've got plenty of stuff going on. We can use all the help.
I don't know about Malice, but you're sick and injured?
Yes. Yes, we have lots, unfortunately. Some of the rations we've been getting are not the most well kept, so unfortunately, people's stomachs aren't doing too well. We have a little bit of a med bay area, and he starts leading you towards one section of the tent city that is actually free of any tents or anything. It just has several straw beds that you can see several people are laying in, either with sickness. Some of them have some sort of injuries. And there are a couple of people sort of wading through and offering what medicinal help that they can, but nothing arcane by any means.
So
As
what
you
is
can see,
the food situation here, actually? I mean,
we have some hunters that go out into the wilderness looking for game. Unfortunately, it's quite a trek because the tent city is quite large. It's not like they can go right around the corner and find a deer. So we've sort of been relying on some rations from Falcon Haven itself. But some of the rations have been rather...
where do they get their food?
I don't want to... they get their food from somewhere inside. I couldn't tell you, but they have something set up for themselves, and we get the undesirable pieces. So it sort of is what it is. But you know what? Here, it's better than scraping in any city. I mean, they're at least giving us something. They're not moving us off of their land or anything. So it's livable, but only in just so.
Do you want
yeah.
first?
I mean, I can probably help out on the food front a bit.
Okay.
Some immediately. Potentially, at least dealing with some of the less than, shall we say, satisfying food that's come down. Remove some of the impurities from it. But long term, I mean, I think these people are probably going to be staying here.
For now, until we can figure out our next plan.
So I possibly want to plant something. Do we have, actually, are there, since we passed through some of this region, are there things like just natural food? So fields, trees that bear fruit?
Sorry, Twitch just lost its mind just now. I have the stream pulled up on like minimal volume. And then at full volume in my headphones, I heard an ad for Snickers and for other stuff. And I was like, what? And like the video was still our stream, so I don't know how or why. I'm so
Mute
sorry.
that tab, you lunatic.
Like plant some Snickers.
Yeah, while we're
plant
on the
some
subject,
Snickers.
while we're on the subject, man, Snickers is so great.
Yeah.
Hey, Snickers, you unintentionally just hinted at possibly sponsoring us. You want to actually do it,
Please.
though?
Please.
Oh my god, that totally caught me off guard.
That's so funny.
Malice, I apologize. Could you please repeat the 30 seconds prior to?
Pedro got
The
distracted by
Snickers.
Snickers.
Uh, um. So food is coming from inside somewhere.
Mhm. Yes.
In the area when we passed through, heading south and everything. Did we see anything that's like fields, places where people grow things?
Oh, no.
Let me see. I'm gonna pull up the map once again.
These
I should
fuckers.
have it up, and I should know these things, but I need the map.
It doesn't. I mean, on the map, it looks pretty big.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, on the way up here, you didn't pass a whole lot of farmland necessarily. It was very like going into a more rocky mountainous range. Um, that being
During
said,
edible things.
I mean, there was some decent game that you had passed by, but nothing really grown per se.
We planted something. I have to have something here. Either way, I'm gonna plant some stuff then.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be wonderful. I can see if we have some farmer. We should have some farmers actually.
I would imagine that actually some of these people probably are quite skilled.
Yeah,
Plus, it'll
absolutely.
give them. I mean, well, sometimes sitting around is the worst thing you can do. I think giving them something to do, some way to contribute, I think it would
absolutely
feel a little
agree.
more like home.
Yeah, that's the same philosophy I've tried to kind of impart to any newcomers. Is we're all trying to help each other survive. So, yeah, absolutely. So, Arsinoe, you're helping the sick and wounded.
So, yes,
go ahead.
I have plans.
Okay, go ahead.
She is going to move around the tent and burn her 2 channel divinities. With oh, that's divine intervention. Balm of Peace.
Mhm.
As long as I move within 5 feet of any creature, I move up to my speed as an action. So for 6 seconds, I move 30 feet. And I restore 2d6 plus 5 hit points to all creatures within 5 feet of me as I move.
Shit.
And I'll do that twice and see where we're at.
Okay. So you walk along the small field, med bay, whatever you want to call it. And as you do, you kind of focus your energy into your holy symbol. And as you walk, you can see almost like snow, little beads of light just sort of emanating off of you. And as you walk by, there is a human with a large wound across his chest. You can see he's currently being tended to by a by another medical professional. And as you walk by, you hear a gasp as the wound starts to close up. And that happens with the person next to them, as these people are being healed of their ailments. Almost every single one of them perks up like into a seated position and watches you as you weave through these rows of people who need it. And I will say it does take 2 of your channel divinities to do. But you take care of about 80% of those who are currently laying in this field, unable to move or gripping with injury or sickness. And like a spark in a warehouse full of hay, you watch as what started as just the people you're healing turning and looking and like saying something in appreciation turns into everybody on the outside of this field staring in awe at the beautiful display of healing before them. And as you finish that last run, you get several people sort of perking up from their spot, immediately showering you with thanks, wanting to know who to thank, what's your name, where are you from. You get this really, really warm reception, and you see smiles across all of the faces that are immediately around you. Dranor is staring slack-jawed and just looks at Malice. Does she... What? How does she... Does she do this a lot?
Well, mostly for us, unfortunately. Usually it's kind of making sure we don't do things, well, making sure we don't die, basically. But yeah, I mean, she wants to help people.
And you see he just stares and just this smirk playing across his face. Yeah. You by walking like Jesus walking on water.
It is a little Jesus-y. It is a little Jesus-y.
Jesus-y.
Don't you have water walk?
I do have water walk too. So like, her build's a little Jesus-y. Okay. I wasn't trying to go for a biblical allegory here. Just happened.
Fine.
Sure.
Jesus. Sure you won't. Church of Christ.
Religious trauma, who? What?
Yeah.
None in this group. Nope.
Jesus. Well done.
Thank you. She will use what resources she can in terms of like cure wounds here or there. She does save a couple spell slots. And just to finish up what she wants to do, as everyone's kind of settled and better, maybe not fully healed, but better than they were, she kind of sneaks out of the tent and is going to cast one of her sendings.
Okay.
She will contact her dad. Been like 3 weeks.
It's been quite a long time, yeah.
She hasn't called home.
Oh yeah.
Is he okay?
Mm-hmm.
And she will
Too
say,
busy to call your own father.
Yeah, apparently. She will say, Dad, I'm safe. How is everyone? Any change in Delita? I love you. I'm sorry I haven't checked.
Almost immediately. Thank the gods you're okay. Everything fine here. You hear a Mother found out I'm talking to you. Delita bustling. More details than can give in this spell. And then you get ascending to you. We love you dearly. If the rumors are true, are you up north? If so, we worry but are proud of you. Come home soon.
I'll respond with, I'm where I need to be. Leaving soon. Like a big pause. It's not even that, like, it's not even like I can't think of the words. She's trying so hard to be cognizant of, like, this is not a secure line.
It's most
not
definitely
a secure
not.
line.
This is not.
Like, at all.
Right.
Yeah. Leaving soon. You'll hear from me more often. Tell Mom I love her. Yeah. I keep wanting to
It's close
count
enough.
syllables, not words, for some reason.
Exactly,
Like it's a
yep.
fucking haiku.
Yep. It's snowing on Mount Fuji.
Exactly.
You send the response and feel a little rejuvenated, knowing that they're thinking of you.
And she'll
Well done.
go meander and see if she can help anybody.
Okay. Malice.
So I would like to first find whoever is in charge of doling out rations and see if I can help out with the issue of some of them being spoiled. Or would I know actually, would purify food and water work on that?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You are directed to actually one of the guards that you had encountered when you were arriving at Falcon Haven. This is the human male that had sort of stepped in to be the point of contact as the other dwarf was not so nice. But you do approach, and he is in the middle of sort of counting, the carts of rations that are before him, and you can see some of the small carts. I mean, there's some loaves of bread. You see a couple slabs of meat. Nothing fancy by any means, and for the most part, it looks okay. But you do catch, one or two pieces that are a little moldy or a little rough, that unfortunately have been included. But you approach, and he says, "Oh, I'm glad to see you've returned. Is Master Brotrak rescued?"
Mr. Bertrak is back.
Wonderful,
He is,
wonderful news.
He is, I think, resting up at home with his family.
Good. That's good news. Thank you very much for your assistance in his rescue.
We're happy to help. I thought I might spend some time outside. Underground doesn't really agree with me.
I'm the same way. I got to get the breeze.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about just very claustrophobic down there.
I understand.
But I thought I might lend a hand out here.
Yeah, by all means, you are more than welcome. I don't know what's to be done, really.
Well,
This is kind of what they give us.
that we'll take up with Boykin. But for now, I think I might be able to at least make this stretch a little bit longer. And then if there's someone who knows of a fairly empty, not sunny, but empty, treeless area that I could perhaps see, I might be able to write something a little more
Yeah, absolutely. There is a little bit of land just north of the mountain that Falcon Haven is built into. It's actually close to the dock where we had encountered you when you arrived.
yes, I remember that. That was quite the
Sorry
arrival.
again about that.
No.
But that would probably be the best land, or you can go a little bit further east. And there might be a little bit of land there, but it's not going to be too much.
Doesn't need to be much. I mean, realistically, it doesn't need to be much at all. Just anything that is maybe not currently being used and not forested.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Before we leave, though, I'd like to purify food and drink on whatever is currently here.
Okay.
Just to take care of the rations that they have.
Sure, absolutely.
Which all non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius sphere. So I'm gonna go stand near all the food and just go purify it. And if there's more than food than 5 feet, I can blow more than one spell slot.
Okay, I will say there are several carts, so I'll say, if you wanted to hit all of them, it would count for 4
Why not?
uses of that.
Why not? Might as well just blow all the spells.
Yeah,
Spells?
it's fine.
Spell slots.
All right.
And then yes, I would like to go plant apple seeds.
All right. Oh, that's cute. Aw.
I would like to
Do
go
me.
plant. I'm going to be casting plant growth on this entire area once they are in the ground, but I will use Druidcraft to actually have the seed pod grow initially.
I love it.
Fantastic. Do me a favor, just make me a nature check in addition
Okay.
to all of this other stuff that you're doing.
All right. My new dice. New dice is good. 20. Dirty.
20. Miss Jackson.
Wait, sorry. No,
Ooh.
21.
Oh, okay. You spend, I'd say, maybe an hour or two kind of sifting through the land, casting the plant growth and using Druidcraft and knowing what spots and kind of how you want to organize everything.
Plant growth will be 8 hours.
8 hours.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sitting my
you're gonna
ass
be out
down
there
on
for
the
most
ground.
of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
Oh, yeah.
How big of an area does that affect?
Half a mile.
Holy shit. Game changer. All right, yeah. You sit in this empty part of land, and as you sit and you're focused on casting, you do hear some hushed whispers of little voices going, do you think she's asleep? No, I don't think so. Her armor looks really cool. Hold on. I'll be back in a little bit. Go see if somebody else wants to play. I want to try something. What? Okay. You hear feet scutter off as you're still focused. And as you finish the spell, seated next to you is a little elf girl who is positioned in a similar pose that you were. Snoring while sitting up. She's actually got red hair that kind of comes down to just above her shoulders. Freckled skin, sort of skinny-ish frame, with a little bit of a button nose, as she is seated in the same pose, just sleeping.
Aw, poor kid. And there's no other little ones around?
There are a couple others, like, a little bit off. They're just kind of like watching from a distance. Just as you finish the spell and the ground below goes from rocky, arid terrain, you see grass start to sprout from the ground around you and sort of expand outward. You hear surprised voices coming from the kids as you just, wow, as the growth continues outward. And you feel the grass growing under you. It's kind of like a tingly feeling. And that's what wakes up the girl. She's like, oh, whoa. And you see this continue to expand. And I'll say, Arsinoe, after you send your message, you're, continuing to be of service until you hear lots of shocked, sounds and laughter and smiling as you look in a direction and can see vegetation growing. And in the middle of it, you recognize your compatriot Malice with her own little cadre of children.
She will stand up and help the little elf girl to her feet.
Oh,
And
this is so cool.
it'll be a lot cooler whenever harvest time is here. I don't really know how long that takes, but...
Well, my dad is actually good at farming. I can have him start.
Oh, you should absolutely have him start, and if he has friends who are also good at farming, they should start, and they're going to need some people who can pick apples later. It's gonna take a little while, but you'll know when it's time, because they'll get big flowers, and then the flowers will all scatter, and then you'll have big apples.
She's got a beaming smile on her face. Yeah, I'll make sure all my friends help too. Oh, guys, and she scampers off towards her friends.
There we go. We have apple pickers. It'll be wonderful.
No, but yeah, for a half mile,
Yep, half-mile
everybody
radius.
sort of stops what they're doing and just looks at the greenery that is now starting to fill that half mile. That was fucking awesome.
Could dust herself off. Feeling very content. Also, these apple seeds definitely came from the Feywild, so I don't know what that's gonna mean, but you might have some funky
Huh.
trees.
Oh, that would be
Huh.
like purple apples or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's where they definitely came from. So
I love it. That's
we'll see
fucking
what
awesome.
happens later on.
Tomorrow
Alright.
morning, you just start hearing screams coming from that field. Someone went out to pick an apple, and the apple started giving them shit.
Hey, I'm living here. What you doing?
It's the opposite.
In the
of symmetry.
Feywild, apples actually eat you.
I was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
gonna say, she's just like, wait a second.
In the Feywild,
apples pick you.
I'll have to plan a sign. I'll have to put a sign there to just, ask
That's
before
awesome.
you pick. Consent, damn it.
Yeah.
And yes, I'll go
Fool.
reconvene with Arsenaway at some point
Okay.
once the day is.
All right. Flit. You are in Falcon Haven, and you have access to the Tent City. What would you like to do with your day?
God, I don't know. I think she probably would have gone around to any of the crafters that are there to see if she can help out like she used to with her dad repairing shoes for people and things like that.
Okay. As you're walking on the lower ring, you can see that a lot of the craftsmen down here are mainly blacksmiths. You see a couple leather workers that focus on hunting gear, some pieces of armor. You do, however, come across a cobbler. His little booth-ish stand is not as well visited or busy as all of the other stands are. And as you approach, you can see a halfling female with a bit of a bob cut of her hair, chestnut brown, as she is fastening together what look like a few straps on a few pair of leather boots. As she's sort of finishing up that job, she looks up. Oh, hey, what's going on? Do you need any decent footwear, leather gloves, hunting materials? What do you need?
No, I just wondered if I could help here. I used to help my father in his shoe shop, and we're just passing through and trying to help out where we can.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. That would be nice. I don't really get many offers for help. Yeah, absolutely. We've actually got quite a large order for some leather boots for some of the people outside. So I was sort of working on cobbling them together. I've gotten 3 out of 35 done. So any help you could provide would be fantastic.
Sure.
All right. Go ahead and make me do you have a tinkering check or no?
I do.
You do. Go ahead and make me a tinkering check.
18.
18. Nice. You don't get all of them finished, but after several hours, Weirin, the halfling, you and her kind of bond. And she explains that she was a misplacement from Delita, that she managed to escape before things got truly terrible. She's been trying to make herself more useful, give back to people, that sort of thing. You guys get through about 30 of the pairs of boots at the end of a full 8-hour stretch. They're simply made. It's nothing fancy, but they're solid enough. And she says, listen, this is you came at the perfect time. This really means a lot.
Well, I'm glad I was able to help.
Yeah.
If it weren't for my friend Boykin, I wouldn't have been able to come to Falcon Haven. So,
Oh, gotcha. Where are you from originally?
well, I'm just outside in of of this city. You know, just a small little village. Not many people live there, but
Oh,
far enough away that it's hard to make the trip sometimes.
oh, I get it. Probably before everything went to hell, trips were probably a little bit more difficult to take.
Yeah.
Hey, you said your name was Flit?
Well, that's my nickname. My name is Olivia Goodberry.
Um, uh, uh, Moreland. Moreland Goodberry?
Yeah, that's my papa.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually showed up in Delita. Well, it was a couple of years ago at this point, but he was passing through. He actually stopped into the shop looking for some decent traveling gear. I thought you looked familiar. You look just like him.
Her eyes like open really widely. Did he say where he was going?
Um, I didn't. I'm sorry. He didn't. Is everything okay?
Well, my papa disappeared several years ago, and we thought he was dead.
Oh my God. I am so sorry. He when he came into the shop, I mean, everybody kind of looks a little rough and tumble when you come into town. But he looked like he was set up with some decent survival gear. Looked like he was doing some sort of like hike of some kind. I don't really know what, but he I don't know, he seemed a little muted, if that makes any sense, a little quiet. But I helped him with what gear I could. Um, but he might still be in that area. I don't know though. I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault. I'm sure you helped him as much as you could. This is the first time I've ever heard about anything that might have happened to him after he left.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, he did have it looked like climbing gear. Like he was scaling some mountains or something. I don't know what his plan was, but he needed specific hiking shoes to be able to function better while climbing. I couldn't
I
tell you
see.
what the purpose was for.
Well, I guess sort of have more questions than I did before now.
Yeah. If there's anything I can do to help, I mean, by all means, say the word. I wish I had more information for you.
Well, it's okay. I can ask a friend to look into it, I think.
Okay. Well,
One of my
listen.
friends is also from that area, so maybe
Oh,
she
wow.
would know what that
Yeah.
mountain climbing means.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know what? I can take care of these last few pairs if you need to go talk to your friend. I absolutely. I'm so sorry. I should have probably said something earlier.
It's not your fault. It's not like you would have known. Anyway, good luck with your
Yeah.
rest of your shoes.
Thank you.
And and thanks for letting me help. It was nice feeling useful today.
Yeah. Absolutely. And well, anytime you want to help me make more, you're more than welcome. You're a good partner.
Uh, we'll shake her hand to leave and just give her a little guidance to help like those last pairs of shoes be made a little faster.
Yeah, she definitely like keys right into what you're saying and immediately sets to work.
And she's actually gonna go find Malice and just when she sees she's concentrating on the spell, she'll just sit next to her in the field and take out that pair of earrings that she was kind of tinkering with before and continue doing that. Her goal would be to find a stone to put in them so she could perhaps, if possible, like store a spell in them.
Okay. I will keep that in mind with any gear you come across. I like
We
it.
do have 3 black pearls that we got from the Citadel.
The Black Pearl.
The black
Sorry.
pearl.
I'm sorry, it was there. I had to do it.
Is this turning in to a Pirates of the Caribbean
Pirates,
campaign?
pirates,
We do
pirates,
have a
pirates.
ship.
We do have a
I
ship.
mean-
Just saying.
But
Yeah, I
you
think,
have heard of me.
I think
Jesus.
if one of those pearls is available, she would put one of her spells in it. Have to decide later. Potentially disguise
Okay.
self as a useful utility.
Not bad. All right. Chio, my darling. You have access to all of Falcon Haven and the Tent City. What are you doing with your day?
Theo doesn't know that everybody's going to be like really selfless and like give their time to help the people. She's like trying to find a library or something because she's never been here, so she's very curious about the culture and she's trying to gain an understanding of this continent and how everything came to be. So she's trying to understand the culture of this area.
Okay. I'll say you do find a small smattering of a library. As you step inside this room, you can see it is a large, sort of cavernous section of the middle ring. It was very clearly an armory at some point that is now being converted into a storage facility for books and tomes and old manuscripts, all that sort of thing. Given that this was a secondary city, a lot of this stuff was like just kept in piles with no clear organization whatsoever. But as you enter, you do hear amongst the books this old frail voice go, "Yes, how can I help you?"
She kind of looks around to find the source of the voice.
Make an investigation check.
No, you're a D12. Don't try
that?
to trick me.
Use it.
Well, it's a natural 20, and
Fuck.
Yay.
so it's a 28.
Nice. You sort of step through and sort of have to like gesticulate in a way to not knock over any of these piles of books. But amongst these just straight up columns of novel and paper and leather strapping and all that stuff, you do see positioned in the middle of a full circle of smaller piles is this old looking gnome, like a raisinette that's been sitting for way too long. You see several spots on their balding head. You see he's got bottle glasses on that magnify the size of his eyes. He's got hair that's sort of stringy, that sort of defies gravity a little bit. He's wearing just simple, clothes as he looks to be organizing piece by piece these gigantic towers of books into categories. But he turns and says,
Uh, yes, hello. What can I do for you?
Yes, I am simply visiting. I'm visiting Falcon Haven, and was hoping to learn a little bit more about the history of Falcon Haven and
Oh.
the lands around it while I was here.
Ah, right. History is, right.
you see he like scans all of the piles that he was literally just working on, and then it goes,
I can't remember which one it was. Hold on.
and you see he sifts through a couple of the piles before he finds,
Oh, yes. Here. It's,
he just blows, there's a of dust that sort of, dissipates into the air.
now this is, a dwarven, royal history. Might be a little bit of a historical document in there somewhere about the surrounding lands.
Give you that. He just doesn't even look and just hands you a book before going right back into the pile.
This one, whoa, there's a little bit of water damage. Somebody wasn't taking proper care of this one, but this one
Absolutely
is
rare.
it's the worst. Um, this one is the history of the kingdom prior to the fall. This will be good for you too,
And just adds it to the pile. And he keeps going back and finds like 3 or 4 more articles and just keeps piling it on until you have a nice sizable, like, I just got my textbooks for the first day of school pile.
That should be enough for you. Is there anything else you might need?
I don't think so at the moment. I will start with these and see where my reading takes me. Thank you. And she's like looks around all the damn books. Goddamn mess.
Well, it's not much, but I do have a little nook.
And he sort of like waddles through, weaving between the towers of books to the smallest little corner where there are still towers of books all around you, but there's this teeny little bench that is clear of all of it, so you can sit and sift through those if you'd like.
She'll sit on the ground and use the bench essentially as like a table. So she's gonna have like the books open and papers out as she's like taking notes of what she's reading so that she can, keep track of what she's learning and report back.
Awesome. Is there anything specific that you're looking for, or just sort of getting the general lay of the land and understanding the culture and all that?
Part of it is general lay of the land and culture, as well as she's still trying to truly understand like particularly the history of like all the crazy shit that has happened in this continent recently. Like that is her main focus because like all these crazy things keep happening and how do we make sure it doesn't happen back home?
Okay.
Like how do we one not repeat their mistakes? Who are the people we need to make sure that we don't let into our country? Like just
Wow.
Terrible.
Wow.
Let me see.
I'm not letting the jester into my country. Hell no.
I
You
mean,
can stay there.
I like that
Wow.
she's making like a what not to do list.
Kinda. So you make me an investigation check.
20. Oh my gosh, my brain stopped for a second. Sorry. 24.
Wow.
I like couldn't put the numbers together. It's like, and that plus that is error message.
Jesus. You read up on some of the bullshittery of this continent. You get a dwarven account of the First Reckoning, which was Kefka raising the floating continent to eliminate the Elder God and take his place. The chasm that the continent flew out of spawned all sorts of monsters from the deep of all different kinds, the effect of which is still felt today. You then hear, well, as you're searching through, you do find another account that actually took place in the Dwarven lands. It was in the city of Hornbear that there was an attempt at the Dwarven king's life. Through the assistance of some adventurers, namely the one that you see highlighted is Marketh. You can identify that the threat was eliminated. It turned out that there was somebody who had been working with a group of Illithid in order to overthrow the king. And the one in charge of this coup had been slaughtered the moment that had been discovered. And in a little note at the very end, it was also thought that the leader of this coup bore a ring belonging to the Planesbreaker. That is the most recent thing prior to the fall that took place. You do hear of some, like, obviously heavily biased accounts of some of the shit that's happened in other parts of the continent. You hear, or you see, I keep saying hear, you see and read some passages talking about how Delita was founded, about how Odessa was a part of Dorian Kingdom, and then the king was like, yeah, you're being kind of an asshole. Go, here, his land. It's all yours. Go. That then flourished into being its own queendom, and it was very prosperous. And you also hear of what is known as Théoden, was initially a very war-torn part of the continent, where all different quote-unquote low races were sort of fighting for dominance. It wound up that the bugbears and orcs had sort of banded together under the flag of a General Scar, to fight against a wave of undead that had spawned from a tower in those lands. The bugbears and orcs had came out victorious. That part of the continent is now just theirs. And other than that, you don't really get many other, like, big notable accounts. There you go.
All right. If there's anything else while she's reading that mentions what is she trying to articulation.
It's all good.
Um
It's still a work day, so we are still post work. So
Yeah. Like, she's also trying to keep an eye out for anything that has relations to, like, her continent. Like, is there anything, because her overall goal is to make sure nothing happens back home, like, and to report back. And so any of these names that she's reading, are these people, because some of these people are very high up, they're kings and things of that nature, does she recognize any of them as like, oh, there have been diplomatic ties with such and such? Like, she's just trying to put the pieces together. So if there's anyone that she needs to be like, yep, they've got a diplomatic tie with this clan, we need to be wary or be cognizant of, she just wants to make sure she's got that in her notes as well.
You do find the name Almas Dorian, the king of Dorian itself, to be a little familiar. Make me a history check.
Uh, 18.
With an 18, you recall a very brief mention of that name when there were dignitaries coming from foreign lands to Yoshino. Almas Dorian was one that had been brought in by one of the other clans. And fuck it, I'm going Legend of Five Rings with clan names. So, and also because I think it's funny enough, the Unicorn clan had personally requested their presence. Don't worry. One day I will come at you with just a lore document on the clans and stuff, and we can work together on all that. But
Perfect. That's what she was trying to get an understanding of.
okay, sounds good. After a little bit of time, just after you kind of finish piecing together, you do hear, "Oh, I did manage to find some other pieces here, and you see that he's got this like encyclopedia, like full encyclopedia. It's a little dry, but it might do something for you. Would you like this one too?
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Oh, here you go," and just puts it on the bench next to the rest of your stuff.
I'll keep looking for you. If you want, if you've got what you need, then I suppose we can call it here.
Well, I'm sure you have much work to do, so please don't
Well,
trouble yourself. Don't trouble yourself any further. Thank you.
oh, well, all right.
And he just sort of meanders away. Is there anything else you would like to look up while in this library? Anything else you'd like to do?
No, once she's done reading, she'll probably just kind of wander the city. Like in the actual mountain. Again, just kind of observing, getting her bearings.
Okay.
She probably is being that weirdo that's like sitting on a park bench and like writing stuff down as she watches people. She's like, oh, interesting custom. Okay, that's cool. Cool.
I will say that as you are sitting, and this is just passively happening before you, you do spot those elven nobles that I mentioned earlier. You've seen beautiful elven garb. You've seen what elves can present themselves as if they're in a position of power. These elves, their stature and their presentation isn't quite as respected amongst the other dwarves. You can see that a number of them have long blonde hair, but at the very edges are black, which strikes you as odd. Until you recall, and I'll just lump this in with the knowledge you gained from earlier, you read about what the Elven Empire was before the First Reckoning. And how the high elves, had devoted themselves entirely to the pursuit of advancing technology and copying magical artifacts and all that sort of stuff, to the point that it started to corrupt them. And it was visibly noted in their hair, going from the beautiful blondes and browns to black. Given that information, you can deduce that these elven nobles seem to be from what is now underwater, the Terrafan Empire. You can see that they're trying to have some conversations with some of the Dwarven nobles, but they're kind of being brushed off pretty consistently.
All right.
All right. Bernalphus, what are you doing?
Yeah, I would like. The first thing I would like to do is I would like to track down some, um, like messenger service. I need to send an official report to Fort Scar.
Okay.
So that A, they don't know they know that I'm not just fucking AWOL.
Good call.
And to just update the fort on, recent events like the elimination of Diablos.
Okay. You do track down a halfling named Haman. This halfling, sort of sandy blonde hair, bit of a goatee growing in, very light leather armor, but they do approach. Hi, yeah, you said you needed a message delivered? I can do that. Where am I delivering it to?
Have you ever been to Fort Scar?
Oh, no, but it doesn't it doesn't intimidate me in the least, though. What do you need delivered there?
A report, and I hand him a completed, written out report.
Okay. I can set out right away to make sure that this is done. Any contributions towards supplies would be wonderful, but not required. Just more of a, tip situation. But
How far, Cujo? Question for the
Yes.
DM.
yeah.
Do I know how far the trip would be? Would I know any even estimation of how long this trek would be?
Let's see. So, looking at the map, if it took you 10 days to get to the mountain where the citadel was, I would say to get to Fort Scar on foot, it would be close to a month. But Haman says, I can probably get it done in about, let's see, 3 weeks. I would use my bird to kind of help me through most of the journey. Unfortunately can't deliver. You know, I don't trust my birds are going to make it all the way to Fort Scar without being scared off. But I can just hand deliver it myself. It just means I'm going to be kind of gone for a while.
I have. I give him 50 gold pieces and tell him use this to procure whatever supplies you need.
Oh wow. Yeah, absolutely, sir. Yes, absolutely. I'll get right on it. Thank you. I'll go do the. And he scampers off. And disappears amongst the crowd.
Cool. The other thing I would like to do is I want to kind of stick with Boykin and tell him that he and I should probably be involved in whatever meeting his father is trying to set up.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yours and my input would be invaluable to the people of this city. I suspect few of them have ever few outside of the standing army, which I assume you have ever seen battle, let alone battle against the foe they face.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It seems that they've been doing more cowering than anything else.
Indeed. So yeah, I want to be in on that meeting.
Okay. Cujo, would I have enough time to drop off that letter and then make it back to that meeting? Okay.
Just real quick, Renalphus, did you want to do anything else with your day, or you're just kind of sticking with Boykin?
I'm just gonna stick with Boykin. That meeting, and then whatever happens after that meeting is
Okay.
what I'm most concerned about.
Okay. Boykin and Renalphus, you make your way into the tent city, and you come upon the familiar bar that you had encountered Kalen in previously. Stepping inside, it is just as dank and moldy and depressing, but it's still standing. And the bald elf behind the bar is currently sliding a tankard of ale across to Kalen, now de-armored, just in simple clothes. Oh. Hey,
Hey.
that was quick.
Yeah, I could say the same for you over here.
Well, traveling with all of you people, dwarves got to drink sometime, right?
Yeah, I can understand that, especially what we just went through.
Yeah.
Bartender, I'll take one of those. And put his on my tab.
I just hold up 2 fingers.
Oh,
Alright.
him too.
The bartender, in his weirdly depressed look, okay, and just sort of turns and starts pulling fresh ale. Well, thanks. You didn't have to do that.
No, it's all right. It's the least I could do. Hey, so all of your help this past week was, in my eyes, incredibly honorable. You didn't have to stay and help us fight or continue on. You could have just left us at the door, or even way before that. But I guess
your
what I'm trying to
friends-
say is, your acts were very honorable and it was much appreciated, and it obviously didn't go unnoticed. And here, and he hands him the scroll.
He like glances at it and
I'm sorry it took so long for you to get your name back in good standing.
he hesitates before he reaches and takes the scroll and takes a moment to read it. I appreciate it. But I don't know that it's what I want.
Well, it's there for you whenever you want to come back to it. If you ever want to come back to it. The point of this was to make sure that I don't know what exactly happened with our fathers, but the sins of the father should not be the burden of the son. And you have proven yourself to be very honorable.
All right. And just as he's about to speak, the tankards are brought. The bartender's like, take it, go. That's how dwarves drink, Rhodes.
Yeah.
Chew just
Sounds-
does not understand
sound-
this land.
Sounds like they're drowning, like in their own. Like, oh my god! Someone
Anyway,
help! Oh my god!
Randolphus just looks at him, says "fucking amateurs," and just pounds his entire mug silently.
Hey,
Like
don't
an
pound that mouth.
adult.
Don't pound that mouth. Don't pound that mug too hard. You're gonna bring this whole place down.
Kalen actually looks at
It's not
Rodolphus
his kind of
downing
wine
his
show.
entire tankard and glares at him and downs his right back. Slams the tankard down.
Oh,
And then he looks at
Oh,
Boykin.
are we going for it? Are we going for it? We're going for it.
You and I have places to be. Don't forget.
Oh,
We'll go for it
buzzkill.
later. Yeah.
Don't you have like lesser restoration prepared?
Come on,
I've
Hammerthrow.
resist-
You wouldn't want a Drakkar to outdrink you, now would you?
We can revisit this later.
Hmm.
Renalphus is correct. We
No,
can always come back and get sloshed, as it were.
no. You said you didn't know what happened with our fathers.
Mm-hmm.
Your father, high up and in good favor with the king.
Hmm.
My father was a Kingsguard. The king had ordered the Kingsguard to slaughter innocent lives. The rest of the Kingsguard obeyed. My father did not. So he was exiled. After serving most of his life at the right hand of the king. He would
It's
be
awful.
exiled for a period of 15 years. And at the end of that 15 years, they would send an assassin after him. Just enough time to have set up a new life. To then be dealt your punishment. But
So it sounds like your father didn't make it.
I don't know. I've looked everywhere, and unfortunately, I've never come across him. But anyway, that is in the past now.
Mhm.
15 years. That was
yeah.
before the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. What innocent people were they slaughtering?
There was an elven family that had made their way apparently within the kingdom's boundaries, and apparently there was some relation to the elven empire. I don't know more detail than that.
The elves were slaughtered, or because of the elves there was slaughtering being done?
The elves were slaughtered.
Hmm. Obviously, it goes without saying that I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I had no idea,
it's all good.
and
After kind of adventuring for a while, it didn't really surprise me that it wasn't at the forefront of your brain. So, and that's not a shot. That's just,
no, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay.
well, listen, I appreciate this.
And I hope you find your father at some point and let him know that his name is cleared and that your family's name is cleared, and that we're all at least this part of the Hammer Throw family is very sorry, especially since it took so long, and clearly it was a grievous mistake.
Well, only thing to do is move forward, right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, hey, if you guys need a guide out of the city, it'd be another 100 gold or so, but I'm sure I can make myself available.
Here we go.
Go to your meeting. You
We'll be back.
dignitary.
We'll be
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
All right, we'll head out. I'll head out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say at this point, just for sake of ease, everybody reunites just outside the gates of Falcon Haven itself. And as you are approaching, you can see the guards are behaving as they will, but as you're approaching, you hear shrieks behind you. At this point, it is dusk, but the sun is still in the sky. But you feel the shadows around you grow. And you turn and see sort of spreading out in a circle around this gathering of black along the ground. Slowly, a lithe figure, covered and shrouded in darkness, rises from where the shadows have gathered. It almost looks Dementor-like. It looks like it's like a silhouette of someone with a hood and long limbs. And under the hood, just peeking through, is a green, glowing eye. Several guards immediately mobilize around. You see an arrow get shot in, and you see it just pass straight through. What do you do?
the
I take
gates.
a step forward towards the figure and ready an attack.
For the gates.
Okay. You guys are just outside the gates.
Guardian of Faith at the gates.
Yeah.
Okay.
A giant statue.
And we saw
Okay.
something go through this thing, as in like
Yes.
fully through it.
Yes. You see an arrow or a bolt from a crossbow gets shot, and you watch the bolt just sail straight through and hit the ground right behind it.
Okay. If there are others, I guess guards outside this gate, I'll take a step forward to just get in between whatever people are around and this thing.
Okay. There's pure panic before things are tense but have calmed as the figure just stands, the green eye still visible under the hood as the head slowly turns and looks around. And then looks forward towards the gates.
I go ahead, Brian. We're gonna say something.
I was gonna say I would step up and just be like, can we help you?
I desire to speak with those who believe they've scored a victory.
And it looks just forward directly to you.
Where's that giant hand when you need to give another middle finger to a random creature? I guess I'm one of those you're looking for. Who are you?
Very stupid and foolish to remove one of my generals.
Stupid for who? Us? Or you to have allowed that to happen?
Ah, the living. So brave. So blind to your consequences. You act as though my influence is not felt in every corner of this land. I merely bring a bit of bitter truth that you believe yourselves safe. You believe yourselves heroes, when in truth, you are harbingers of this land's destruction.
You see the creature just continuing to slightly shift in place. Almost like you're looking at a cloaked figure underwater. Just the wisps of darkness just emanating off of the form.
Looking at this thing, I'd like to try and determine if this is something physical, like something that's literally stepped through, that is just amorphous, or if this is something that is illusory or a projection of some kind.
Make me an Arcana check.
I suck at those. Wrong character for this.
I will guidance.
Okay.
Gojo.
Yes.
Add a D4, Tina.
Add a D4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Noi's gonna take her holy symbol in her hand.
Hmm.
Divine intervention.
mm, Okay.
And try it again.
Okay.
She is asking
19.
for Carbuncle to protect those who are trying to find sanctuary. She's not asking for it to act on Vecna, but to protect the innocent.
Okay. Let me know what you roll. What was your Arcana check?
19.
19. With a 19, you look at the ground.
Yeah.
Right at its feet, and you don't see it being disturbed at all as it's sort of continuing to gesticulate and shift, leading you to believe that this is a illusory effect of some kind.
Wonderful. I'll let you resolve first, but I'm going to cast a spell magic.
59.
Okay. 59. You clutch your holy symbol, and with everything you have, you just mentally repeat over and over and over, protect these people, protect these people, protect these people. And while you feel sort of a sense of understanding. You don't feel or see anything kind of come from that communication. You cast Dispel Magic, right?
I'm gonna try.
Okay. Roll me a...
Guidance.
DC, do you know, DC is 10 plus whatever the spell's level is, or the magical effect that's being caused by a spell, if this is some kind of arcane type thing. Or divine type thing, I guess, because he's a god, so I don't really know how that shit works.
is it a specific kind of check, like a wisdom check, does it say?
Ability check using my spellcasting
Your
modifier.
spellcasting modifier?
Yeah.
Got it. All right, so go ahead and make me roll me a check with your modifier.
All right, don't fuck me.
Can
Which
I
one?
give her guidance again?
It would be an ability
Yeah.
check.
I'll say yeah.
So guidance.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Guidance. Okay, guidance is 2 plus is 19.
Okay.
Wait,
As
19.
as you're focusing this energy, Vecna does say one more thing.
There is nowhere you can hide. I will find you. I will exact revenge. I will break your spirits and watch you crumble.
Just as Malice finishes the spell and you see the shadowy figure, almost like a, I don't know, like you watched a paper mache thing just kind of explode out and pieces sort of drift and dissipate in the air. Everyone is highly uneasy. Many people in the tent city are in a panicked state. You see many of the guards shaken as they still hold their weapons, knowing that it's gone, still on edge. What do you guys do?
Well, we certainly got his attention.
Told you. You need to
Now
take it
we can
away.
direct it elsewhere.
While we're talking, I'm gonna cast Calm Emotions.
Yeah.
Good call.
It's a 20-foot radius sphere, so whoever gets caught on it.
We could just
Got it.
we could do like a little circle.
Yeah, I assume we're like circling
Pacing.
back. That it's just gonna kind of emanate from all of this.
Okay. Is there anything you say after you cast the spell? I will say, Arsinoe, you do recognize some of these people as the ones who had seen you earlier.
He wouldn't be bother enacting revenge if we hadn't made it an extreme devastating strike. Or hope
I agree.
here. But you're good. Your hope here. Things are growing. We're healing. Do not let his presence stop that. That is what.
All right. Boykin, did you have something to add?
No.
All right. Well, as you all gather yourselves, having calmed the crowd around you, you then step inside Falcon Haven to move towards the meeting that is set to take place with the council members, including Mr. Hammerthrow. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. I'd say that's a good pause point for our Biven party. as of course you got his attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. But to everybody who tuned in, thank you so much for watching. Next week, we are going back to Taldore, as we've got our Taldore party we haven't seen in quite some time, on their way to the Feywild to rescue some comrades, gather some information, normal shit where nothing can go wrong. But to everybody who tuned in, thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. Be nice to each other, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.